Knows Best.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Brenna Knows Best. I'm your host, Brenna Berg. Hi, how are you guys? Happy Monday. Let's get into the stories. I tried to pick some longer ones this week because I feel like these episodes have been shorter. However, let's just begin. My boyfriend, 41 male, has an expensive hobby, so we have to live very frugally, and it's starting to bother me. 39 female. I'm not sure what to do. Oh, okay, let's begin. My boyfriend, 41 male, and I, 39 female, have been together for about a year. He's a caring and considerate partner. However, he lives very frugally to be able to afford his expensive hobby. He loves to sail, and between the costs of financing his boat, which he purchased before we met, fuel costs, insurance, marina fees, maintenance, etc., I would estimate that it creates around $3,000 a month in expenses for that alone. This comes out of his disposable income, so he's not asking me to pay for any of it, but it's not an interest that I share. I don't particularly like being on boats. I always say literally, particularly, like regularly. I know that's not correct. I'm not sure where I learned that, or like I think that I decided that it makes more sense. Particularly. I hate how it just goes literally. Like the RLY, I really hate that. So like I say literally, because it creates an extra syllable. I know, I'm an idiot. Anywho, okay. She doesn't really like boats, is what she's saying. I think sailing really gives him a lot of peace and a sense of pride. Okay. I mean, just like right out the gates, here is the thing, and what I imagine is going to be my final thoughts already. He has this hobby. He enjoys it. He maintains it. It then, like, I'm guessing, let's say he makes, who knows, $6,000 a month, $1,000 to $2,000 goes on rent and then like living, and then the extra $3,000 goes to sailing, and there's probably none left over. That is totally fine for him to do. But if that is bothersome, if you wish he had more money, that's just like not the reality. And I think this just like isn't a good match for you. You know what I mean? But let's keep going and see what else she says. We mostly split expenses, and I don't live in a particularly expensive lifestyle. I don't have a huge desire to visit fancy restaurants, and am happy taking a weekend road trip instead of some big international trip. And so for a while, it didn't bother me that he spends so much on his hobby. He also is very conscientious about saving, so he saves a large portion of his income as well. And I support him wanting to build his savings. However, we don't currently live together, partially because of how frugally he chooses to live in order to be able to afford this hobby. He has a tiny condo and no car, though I have a car, and he eats very simply. If we were to move in together, we'd need to move into a smaller apartment than I'd prefer. We live in an expensive city, or move somewhere else, or he'd need to save less. Oh, yeah, this is gonna get really tricky. If it were up to me, we'd spend more on activities, splurge from time to time, and get a decent sized apartment, etc. However, he's not really on board with those expenses, except on a holiday, like a birthday, etc. We still go out to do stuff, but obviously he prefers inexpensive or free local events, which I also enjoy, but it would be nice to do other stuff too. If I want to go to a pricey concert or to the theater or do a spa day or whatever, I'll generally end up doing that stuff with friends. He's someone who is willing to compromise on things, but I don't even know what to ask him for. Sell his boat? He had it before we met. Stop saving? That sounds like I'm asking him to be irresponsible. I could offer to pay for more stuff, but I think that would create a very bad relationship imbalance, especially when he makes more than I do. Honestly, I'm not sure what to do. I feel like a jerk asking him to give up his hobby, or like I was being immature, telling him not to worry so much about saving money. Do I dump him? He's honestly a great guy. At the same time, it seems silly that our lives are so limited when both of us have an okay income. I'm not sure what to do here, or maybe I should just be happy he's a good guy. I don't know. Oh. Here's my initial thoughts. I see this happen in a lot of relationships where a girl or a guy, but obviously I mainly talk to girls, is unhappy about something and they want to change this or fix this. Or a lot of times women, like she's doing, talk down on herself. Like, well, I don't need nice things. And like, I should be fine doing the local, free events, or like, it's fine that we don't have as much money, or that I can't do like the spa day, or like whatever. But it's also like, is it fine? Clearly it's not if she's writing this in. It's clearly a bother to some extent. And I think you need to decide before even like going to this man, because here's the thing. I also don't believe in like making him do certain things that way you're happy. Like, there is compromise in relationships. I have a lot of thoughts. Number one, like in the current state, in this present moment, am I okay and am I happy in this relationship as is? I think that's really important with his habits. Like, are you okay with spending your own money, doing those things? Like, is it a relationship imbalance? Because here's the other thought. If you do move in, if you're thinking about actually marrying this man, your finances, in theory, in my opinion, should come together. And therefore, it's like, okay, with both of your incomes together, if he's doing the $3,000 a month on his hobby, and I do think it's really important, and like, there's no way this man should give up his boat and his hobby. I bet it brings him a lot of happiness and a lot of peace. And like, when it comes down, like if it's something that's like really bad, like, substance abuse, or like going out every Friday and like if somebody said that their hobby was getting drunk every Friday and Saturday, I guess whatever. But like, this is like a overall good thing. It's like very good for him. It's not like really harmful. He's not overextending. Like, yes, $3,000 is a lot of money and it does make him frugal in other aspects, but like, that isn't a bad thing in my opinion. I don't think that's a terrible thing if like that is what he really enjoys. But like I was saying, if it was something like very harmful, that would be something else to like bring up, or I would just then decide not to be with the person. Like, let's say that his hobby is going out every Friday and Saturday night. I think it's like okay to bring up something when it's like actually detrimental to the person or the relationship. But like, this is this man's hobby. He enjoys it. He maintains it. And if you guys were to combine your incomes, let's say you both make $6,000, okay, each. So you come together, you make 12,000. You do, let's say 3,000 on rent. He does 3,000 on his boat. Let's say you do 3,000 on the savings, or like you have 4,000 left over. Let's say 2,000. Like, that money, could it work out that the excess money does go to the like fun things and what you want to do and activities and experiences? Because I get what she's saying, kind of, not really, about like the power imbalance of the relationship if her money is going to like the fun things. The thing is, like, she puts value on that. Like, that to her is important, but it might not be to him. Therefore, I don't even think he would see it as an imbalance, because it's not like he's using her to go to these experiences, because he doesn't even prioritize that. And this is a big thing, and this comes down to compatibility, and this is like the fundamentals of relationships and why I think a lot of them don't work, is because we give and take. Like, let's say this man like gave up boating because you asked him to, because you wanted to have more money to do experiences, but like now he doesn't have his hobby. He's probably going to be more sad. He's like he's going to resent you for that, and like that's not a good thing, but it's also not fair. Like, I'm not putting the blame on her. If you're just like straight up not having a good time and he spends all of his money on this, and like you don't like living frugally or using your own money to take care of whatever you want to do, the holidays or the vacations or like the concerts and that, then like this isn't going to work. But I don't really believe in, I believe there is compromise in relationships on like small things, but I would say this is a big thing. It is. It's $3,000 a month that he has chosen even before he met you to spend on his hobby. And for a man who is frugal in other areas and then also prioritizing savings, it's not like he's reckless. Like, it would be a different conversation if he was like in debt for this hobby. That would not be okay. Like, if he was spending so much money that he didn't have, or let's say wasn't also saving, which is, I guess, it is your business if you're going to get married to this person, but like none of your business if you're dating. But like, do you get what I'm saying? If it was something that was like terrible and really hurting him, right? It's like gambling, because one could say that somebody like gambling is a hobby, but like if they're consistently losing money, which they are, anybody who gambles a lot is like consistently losing money. Like, that is detrimental in my opinion. I would, if I were her, and this honestly is a good conversation for anybody, like finances. I was actually watching a podcast, The Diary of a CEO, the only podcast that I watch, and he has this woman on, I'm forgetting her name, but she was just about to go into finances and relationships because this is a big thing. And if your partner is spending money on something that you don't agree with, I think I would probably break up with that person. If she is deeply unhappy and just like will never support the expensive hobby, I think that's only going to build resentment and not be a good thing. She can sit down and have a conversation. Here's the thing, like, if y'all are really serious and could potentially be together for a long time, like, I would start viewing the finances as one. And I know that's kind of crazy, but I don't see it being a problem depending on how much is left over. Right? Like how much extra money they have after the hobby and the saving and the necessities. If you guys can still do a vacation or a few fun things, I don't know. Because the problem is, if it's $3,000 just to maintain it, like that's not, sailing, unfortunately, is not something that you can casually do. I don't think there's a way to cut the costs of that, because you need to have a boat and then you need to pay all of these fees. Maybe you could rent sailboats, but like, I'm not really sure the ins and outs, because if there was a way, if you were in a relationship with somebody who like spends a lot of money, but there's like a way to maybe make it less, like let's say this man could sell his boat, but instead, well, he already bought it. I mean, I feel like that'd be such a dumb thing to do. Like that would be such a dumb, not investment, but like money move if he already bought it. It's kind of like buying a house or buying a car. Like, you don't just sell it, because sailboats, I'm pretty sure, are really freaking expensive. I went to Germany, and when I was there, I was with my friend Niels and his whole entire family, and they're big boat people. They sail, and we went to the world's largest boat show. It was in Deutschland. It was in, is that what you call it? No, Deutschland is Germany. It was in Düsseldorf. And it was ginormous, and we toured all of these sailboats and these yachts. Like, it had every single boat known to man, but the costs of these things were, obviously there was a range. Like, we were looking at luxury ones, but even I think just like a normal sailboat is not nothing. But if there was a way where he could like sell the boat in theory or get rid of it and then rent, like let's say it would be $1,500 to just like periodically rent a sailboat, but I don't know how that would contribute to the hobby itself. If you catch my drift, like it might not be as fun if you don't actually own your own boat. I don't know, I don't even know if it's an option, but I'm speaking to like somebody, let's say you have a partner who golfs all the time and it's really expensive. It's like asking them to every other time go to like a local course that's not as expensive, or maybe take one weekend off. Like, if there are ways to minimize I'm sorry, minimize the cost, I would maybe potentially bring that up, but that's hard. Oy. Because I think they both should be happy. He's 41 years old. This is his hobby. I just like don't think that's fair of her to ask him to stop. And I honestly just like don't think he would. I think regardless, either way you look at it, I don't think that will happen, and I don't think it should happen. And therefore, my advice to any woman in a similar circumstance is to really ask yourself, like, am I okay with this or am I not? And if I'm not, he's just not the one. Like, that is a part of who he is, and you can decide if that's something you want to not put up with. Because like, here's the thing, that guy could find like the perfect gal. He could find somebody who's like also into sailing, or somebody who just like makes a lot of money, or a woman who's frugal as well, and then that doesn't really bother them, right? Like, there's somebody out there for everybody, and therefore if you're not happy, don't be with that guy. Because also, just like there's a girl for him, there's a guy for you who doesn't have this insanely expensive hobby, and somebody who prioritizes the vacations and the concerts and things like that. Like, there is really always going to be somebody out there who aligns or like doesn't do that thing that like you're not happy with, I promise you. Or you could just be single. You could just be by yourself and then spend your money however the fuck you want to. Those are my thoughts. Okay, next. This one, you guys, though, this is a little bit crazy, and I like wasn't gonna put it in because it's like pretty straightforward, but I thought it'd be a funny story to talk about. Anyways, not funny at all, actually, kind of crazy. My former fuck buddy, 36 female, randomly texted me, 22 male. Okay, she's 36, he's 22, and told me that she had my child. How do I even explain this to my current girlfriend, 25 female? What? How did she not tell you when she found out she was pregnant that she was pregnant with your child? Have you ever heard of the term baby trap? I think is what it's called. When I think it can go both ways. Like, let's say a man gets a girl pregnant to like trap them with a baby, or it could be this way, which I'm already jumping ahead, but like she could baby trap him, right? That's like a real phrase. The fact that this is a phrase, baby trap, means that it has happened, and it happens more than not. Like, the fact that people would get pregnant on purpose in general, maybe this wasn't on purpose and we're going to get into the story, but like people literally do that on purpose to trap a person is crazy. That is a child. That is like a literal human life that you're forming to trap a human being. Not trap, but like, you know what I mean? That's crazy. Anywho, let's begin. When I was a bit younger, I had an ongoing fuck buddy situation with this woman who I met on here? On Reddit? On here? Wait, you met a woman on Reddit and she became your fuck buddy? How do you even meet somebody on Reddit? Oh my gosh, that's already bad news. That's already trashy behavior. I'm sorry, it is. We met up a few occasions and she randomly disappeared and told me that she was in some sort of program or something and that she wouldn't be able to meet up for a while. The last couple of times that we saw each other, she would take the condom off me and would ask me to finish in her, and she would lock me in with her legs. I'm sorry, wait, I don't think I fully processed what I just read, and I apologize if you have young ears listening to this. I'm so sorry. The last couple of times we saw each other, she would take the why would you let that happen? And he's young. I mean, if he's 22 now and she's 36, how at 36 would you ever take the condom? I'm sorry, people are literally so dumb. Oh my gosh. Plus, she assured me she was on birth control. I think she lied, my dear friend. Other than sex, we didn't talk, and she always would hide things from me. Fast forward a couple of months, I started dating my now girlfriend of 1 year. I love her dearly, and she and I live together now. Oh my gosh. 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 And then this ex fuck buddy is going to come and say that she has your child. I'm so sorry. What the fuck? A couple of days ago, she sent me a bunch of messages explaining that she had a baby that was mine and that she's a couple months old now. No. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh. Like, imagine, oh my gosh, like being a mom and being a single mom is like totally the craziest and most like amazing and really hardest job in the world. But can you imagine being a man? Like, I'm thinking that if obviously this could not happen to me, obviously, but like, let's say me and Carter were dating for a year and like a man, let's say like the roles are reversed and men can get pregnant. My ex came out of the fucking woodworks and said they had a child that's like a few months old and I'm in a current relationship. Oh my gosh, like that is life-changing. A child, why would she do that? Oh my gosh, there's like so many fucked up things about that because she knew from the get-go, or she could have figured it out, which not that it changes anything, but like he could have had time to like wrap his head around it. Like this woman literally came out of nowhere and said, I have your child. And any good human being, like that man is going to step up, right? And like be the dad, or at least like fund. Oh my gosh. Obviously, like anybody knows that if you're not wearing a condom, but like she said she was on birth control, like the condom just should never be taken off. No to anybody. Like what the fuck? Oh my gosh. I didn't buy it at first, but she sent me pictures of the baby and she looks just like me. We met up to talk and I saw the baby up close and I did have a gut feeling that this child is mine. She's gorgeous, and me being the way I am, I can't be an absent father. I went through that myself and none of my kids will go through that. So she said she's so confident that she wants me to do a DNA test so I could see the truth. My girlfriend has no clue about this and I don't want this to cause any problems. How do I explain my situation to her and that this was before I even knew her? Oh my gosh. A child should be a choice. A child should always be a choice. Like when people accidentally get pregnant or potentially on purpose, I'm not sure this woman's MO, like, oh my gosh, like that just all of a sudden is, I feel bad for him. Like he said he won't be an absent father, but it's like you didn't really, yes, you had sex without a condom on. Again, hello, it is his fault, but it's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Here's what you do with the girlfriend. You tell her immediately. Like you haven't lied up until this point. You had literally no idea, but like this is going to be an earth-shattering conversation and she might not be along for the ride, but like that is just that, and that's something you need to come to terms with. Like it's like any single parent. Unfortunately, this is a really fucked up situation, but like if you're a single parent or you have a child, 50-50 custody, whatever, like there is nothing better than to be upfront right away, because that person needs to know what they're signing up for. Like if you have a child that obviously is like, the child is not going away. The child is going to be there, and you need to find a partner that is up for that and that will choose both of you and like be a part of that. And if they don't, that's their right and that's their decision. And I've spoken about this before when I've had single moms write in and they're like, I don't know if I should put on my dating profile this, that, or the other. But I think that for sure, if you're a single mom and you have the child full time, that you should have that on your dating profile. I understand. And here is the thing. A lot of people will swipe left because they don't want to be a father, right? Or like a secondary father, maybe not like, completely, but you know what I'm saying? But like, that's just the reality. And rather to be having limited options of men who know that you have a child and are open to it than to like hide that fact and waste your time and talk to these men and go on dates and then tell them you have a child and then they back out. And it's not their fault. Like, I will never view that as like, if a man does not want to step up and be the father to a single mom, that's fine. And that's his choice to make. But there are men that will step in and do that job and like also love you and be like a present and wonderful partner. Like the man who just straight up doesn't want a child and like doesn't like the fact that you have a child, that's never going to be a good partner to you, because obviously your child is your world. But oh my gosh, yeah, he has to tell his girlfriend. I mean, like there's no other way around that. She needs to know, and it might not go as he's hoping, but like, what else are you supposed to do? You have to tell her. And as far as the child thing, like it just sucks that there's nothing he can do about it. And not that there would be, but again, it's like similar to how a woman is pregnant for 9 months. Like I think that 9 months is getting you ready to like have the child. I mean, obviously, but like in psychological ways as well, or like mental. He didn't have a single like idea that this was happening or like time to prep to like be a dad. I think that's so fucked up. I think that's so incredibly fucked up. Oh my gosh, like this whole baby trapping thing, which again, maybe that wasn't the case, but it's like, why would you keep that from him? Why would you not tell this man while you're pregnant that you are pregnant with his child? Why would you wait until she's months old? None of that makes sense. And that's what leads me to believe that this is like a baby trapping situation. Not like he could have done anything. Like I'm not even saying she should have gotten an abortion. It's just like literally so he can wrap his head around it and like know that. And like now he's in a relationship and like has to tell his girlfriend of 1 year who he lives with that he's apparently a father now. And best case scenario, she like understands and is along for the ride and it is what it is. But worst case scenario, she's not. And this guy's life is about to change. Well, it's about to change regardless by having a literal daughter. Oh my gosh, I feel so badly. Can you imagine? Like this is a real person writing this in. Oi, 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 oi. Somebody commented, oh, my young friend, this woman likely had your baby on purpose, didn't tell you so you couldn't talk about abortion, and now we're here. Just be honest with your current girlfriend. Explain it as you did here, maybe without some of the sexual details, unless she asks. Yeah, do not mention the sexual details. There's no way to make this not uncomfortable or for her to not be upset if she is. You are talking about a huge life change for you both. You want to be in this child's life, and your girlfriend will need to decide if she wants to go along for that ride. But please, obviously get a DNA test to make sure without 100% shadow of a doubt that this is your child. Number one, make sure. It sounded like he was already doing that. But yeah, oh my gosh, even if you think she looks like you and you feel like a connection, get a DNA test and talk to a lawyer about it all. I mean, like, what could a lawyer do though? Like, I do believe, like, I wish there was some way he could be, but like, how are you righted for those wrongs? Like, what is somebody able to offer? Like, he's gonna have to pay child support probably, depending on like, they're gonna have to go to the courts and figure out custody. Oh my gosh, that's just like, it's one thing when two married people have children and then get a divorce and figure that all out because like they were married and they probably planned to have those children, but like honestly a stranger that you like hooked up with, like that is a million times worse. Oh my gosh, and that baby is like a child of just like two people who like literally hooked up. They didn't even like date, literally. Oh my gosh, that's fucking crazy. Okay, next. Oh my gosh, y'all, this next story is crazy. And I've never heard of a period party. And maybe like this is a newer thing. I don't really know, but let's begin. Am I the asshole for putting a stop to my 12-year-old daughter's period party. Let me set the stage. My wife and I, 43 male, 42 female, have two daughters 7 years apart. The 19-year-old was at college in a different state when this happened. The girls also are very different. My 19-year-old is outgoing, extroverted, loves meeting new people, trying new things, etc. My 12-year-old, on the other hand, is shy, a homebody, finds things she's comfortable with and sticks with them, etc. In fairness, the 19-year-old was kind of like this until she turned 16 or so maybe it's genetic. Okay. A couple months ago, my 12-year-old comes to me in my home office, obviously upset. She stammers a bit, then manages to tell me that she just got her first period. I played the supportive dad, comfort her, and get her a box of sanitary pads my wife had bought earlier in the year, guessing that this was going to happen sooner or later, and go over the instructions with her. First of all, that is like the most precious thing ever that she came to you. I literally lived with my dad and I didn't go to him. I figured it all out myself because I was like way too embarrassed and I didn't know what to do. I think I probably put down like toilet paper at first until I was able to get products, but like I didn't even go to my dad and he was like the only parent in my household. That is like the most precious thing ever. And I think that says a lot about their relationship. I also think because I read this that he works at home and the mom wasn't home, which is why she went to him instead of her mom, if that makes sense. Because I was like, why the fuck would you go to your dad and not your mom when you get your period? But I think that's the situation. Anyways, okay, let's keep going. She goes into her bathroom, does what she has to do, thanks me for my help, and then I got her some ice cream and Midol, and I told her that there was nothing to be embarrassed about and she could always come to me for anything. Oh, stop it, girl dads. Hello, Presh. Okay, my wife gets home later that day and the 12-year-old tells her what happened. My wife starts crying, saying, my little girl is growing up, etc., and then asks who should be invited to the period party. What the fuck is a period party? Which I only knew of from listening to Bert Kreischer. If they were a thing when our 19-year-old daughter started, she never asked for one. 12-year-old immediately closes off and says she doesn't want a period party. She doesn't want anyone to know. My wife then tries to talk to her some more, but my 12-year-old ignores her and goes to her room. My wife tries to enlist my aid in changing her mind, but I tell her she said she didn't want one. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you're a 12-year-old who just got her period, which is like not traumatic, but like just a scary, embarrassing, weird time for a girl. Like, leave her alone, Becky. Why would you as a mother like want to put any more pressure? Like, she said no. And like, what the fuck even is a period party? Anywho, 2 days later, I get home from running errands, and before I can even make it to the stairs, my 12-year-old runs up to me and asks if she can do her homework in my office. I'm confused, but say sure, and then she bolts upstairs. At this point, I started to suspect what was going on. And when I walked into the living room, I find that my wife had not only decorated it like something which wouldn't have looked out of place on my super sweet 16th birthday, but there were several family members, all women, and a few I recognize as neighborhood mothers. I beckon my wife into the hall and she asks me where our 12-year-old daughter is, and I tell her that she wanted to do her homework in my office. She rolls her eyes and starts to move past me, but I step in front of her. I say, "What are you doing?" And she says, "I'm going to get our 12-year-old. It's her party." I say, "She told you specifically she didn't want one of these." And then my wife goes, "Oh, she didn't mean that. This is an important time for a girl. She needs to know not to be ashamed of her body." I say, "She's not. I already explained things to her. She just doesn't want to talk about it anymore." My wife goes, "I don't expect you to understand. This is just for us women." She actually then tried to push past me, but I stepped into the doorway and completely blocked her. She asked, what's wrong with you? And then I said, what's wrong with you? Yes. You know how shy our 12-year-old is. You knew she didn't want you to do something like this, and you did it anyway. She says, I told you it's for her own good. We can't let her grow up with a negative attitude towards something so natural. I said, we're not. I told you she knows what's going on. She's getting a handle on it, and she just doesn't want to talk about it with anyone else right now. My wife goes, well, it wasn't your business to tell her about it anyway. I say, you were at work. What was I supposed to do? Ignore her for 4 hours until you got home? And my wife goes, you could have called me. I would have come home. I say, it still would have taken you an hour. She was upset and I knew what was going on and I talked her through it. My wife then goes, you don't know anything about it. It's never happened to you. What the fuck is wrong with this wife? What is actually wrong with this woman? Let it go. And why would you throw that party when your daughter said she doesn't want it? Oh my gosh. And also, this is like, if I came home and Carter had like talked our daughter through her period, I would say, give me 100 more babies. Let's have sex right now, because that's the hottest, most attractive, most sweet, precious thing I've ever heard. Like, oh my gosh, what a great dad. Do you know how many men would have been like, oh, I don't know, like, go to your mom? Like, so many pussy ass men, no offense. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with this woman? At this point, I gave up. Point to my wife, no, I've never had a period, but I had 3 older sisters and a live-in girlfriend before my wife and I met. Plus, we've been married almost 21 years. I'm pretty well versed. She again tries to move past me, but I don't move. I said, no. Our 12-year-old doesn't want this. I'm not letting you make her do it. And my wife says, fine, have it your way. She goes back to the living room and tells the other ladies that the period party is off because I'm being a jackass. I lose it. I then follow her in and let the women know calmly, but in no uncertain terms, that I appreciate what they wanted to do, but our 12-year-old made it explicitly clear that she did not want this party, and my wife is trying to pressure her into it. Several of the moms frown at her. My wife then starts to backpedal, talking about how she didn't think my 12-year-old was being serious, our 12-year-old was being serious, but I ignore her and begin taking down the decorations. Everyone clears out shortly, and once the coast is clear, our 12-year-old comes back downstairs. My wife gives her a half-assed apology, in my opinion, again saying that she didn't think our 12-year-old was serious. Our 12-year-old ignores her and just starts doing her homework in her usual place at the table. My wife was pissed at me for a week, claiming I undermined her authority as a parent, apparently by not helping her force our daughter into doing something she didn't want to do, and made her look bad in front of the neighborhood moms by telling them she'd been doing this against our daughter's wishes. So am I the asshole? Wait, she's mad at you because you didn't force your daughter to do something, but then when you told the neighbors of what exactly she was doing, she's embarrassed that you talked bad about her for exactly what she did? Am I the asshole? No. This woman is off her rocker. Why would you force your 12-year-old? And here's the thing, and here's where Brenna Berg comes into play. I am not going to be like a big party thrower, I fear. And therefore, if somebody even gives me a half chance to not ever have a party in my lifetime, I won't do it. It's similar to like gender reveals and all of this bullshit, like period party. I then went and Googled, and apparently it is like a thing. I don't know how serious of a thing, but I just feel like now as we're getting older and social media is so rampant, like things just become, obviously you probably wouldn't post this online, but I think there's so many more parties and things because people want to post about it online. Not this specifically. Sorry, I'm just ranting about a different thing. Anywho, the wife is in the wrong Clearly, the wife has always been in the wrong, because why wouldn't you listen to your daughter? And like, especially, I cannot stress enough, as a woman, you know how like weird and awkward that time is. Like, what would throwing this party add to your daughter's life? Like, what about this would help her, make her feel better about having a period? Like, what is it doing? I would like open the floor and be like, if you have any questions or anything, like, let's talk about it, but like, not throw a party with every single woman that you know. That's weird. Yeah, he is not the asshole. And honestly, he handled that so well and stood up for his daughter. And this is how I hope anybody would act in that circumstance. Okay, next. Oh, this one is a little bit crazy. Am I the asshole for telling my biological daughter I was nothing more than an egg donor and that her real mother is the woman who raised her? This is so fucking wild. Okay, sorry that this is long, but it's complicated and I really need some perspective. 25 years ago, my close friend Clara and her husband James were struggling with infertility. Clara couldn't conceive or use her own eggs, so she asked me if I would consider carrying a baby for them to use my egg and James' sperm. I had already had my 2 kids and was done having children, so I was hesitant at first, but eventually I agreed because I wanted to help my friend become a mother. 9 months later, their daughter Bella was born. From the start, Clara and James raised her as their own, and I've always been auntie to her, just a close family friend, and that's all she ever knew. My own kids always knew the truth, and I never hid it from them. They understood that Bella was biologically related to them and that I had helped my friend start a family. I never told Bella anything because I truly didn't feel like it was my place. It was something her parents needed to decide if or when to tell her. Why would you not tell her? I mean, like, obviously not until she's of age to kind of understand, but like, I don't know why you would keep that from her. I feel like as a kid or a human being on this planet, you would want to know that piece of information, I think, but what do I know? Okay. A few weeks ago, Bella and her fiance were at his family's house and they all did one of those DNA kits for fun. When the results came back, Bella saw that she had Cuban and Black ancestry, which confused her since she knows both of her parents are white. Instead of asking them, she used the combination to their safe, which she had learned a while back, and started going through their personal documents. Wait, you're telling me that this girl is now engaged, therefore she's 20? Wait, did it say 25 years ago? Oh my gosh, I totally missed that fact. 25 years ago, my close friend Clara and her husband James were struggling with infertility. This is like a 24-year-old girl or woman, and she still does not know that her mom is not technically, and again, like, I think her mom is her mom in every sense of the word, but like biologically, again, I don't know. It is really complex. I have a friend, Austin, who I grew up with, and he was adopted, and I'm pretty sure his parents told him like really young. Well, he knew when we were kids. Like, I remember he picked me up when he first got his license. So like when he was a year older than me. So like 14 years old, he knew at that time. But I can imagine it's a really uncomfortable and hard thing to tell a child, because like, as a child, it's hard to really comprehend most things. You're a kid, but like the fact that your parents are not your parents, like, I don't know what that would invoke. Like, I don't know what kind of feelings that would bring up in somebody. It's kind of similar to like my best friend Natalie has never known her dad. Her mom got pregnant by her dad, and he maybe was in the picture for like a hair when she was like literally just born. They had been dating, I think. I'm not sure if her mom got knocked up. I don't really know, but like, she's never known her dad ever, and her mom's never been in contact with him since. And when we talk about it, like, I talk about anything and everything, and she honestly is so open, but like, I wonder really what that feels like when you have parents, like when you're adopted or you never knew a parent or this and that, like, you just never know how that's going to make somebody feel, a grown adult or especially children. So I'm trying not to judge too harshly, but I feel like that's crazy that she's 25 and doesn't know. And also, like, you're a part of this girl's life. Like, I feel like that'd be such an easy thing. Like, when she turned a teenager, I don't know what year, but to be like, this woman, you know, aunt, whatever, auntie was the one who literally like carried you and birthed you. Or maybe that isn't the right thing to do. I don't know. Bella ends up finding an old photo of me pregnant in a hospital bed with Clara holding my hand. And she also found paperwork about Clara's infertility. After that, she started pulling away, especially from Clara, and none of us understood why until everything exploded. My family and I were over at Clara and James's house helping with wedding prep. At one point, Clara and I were in the kitchen talking about my kids, and Clara mentioned that I had paid for both of their weddings, and she wished she could do the same for her daughter. Bella must have overheard because she walked in and suddenly said that I should be paying for her wedding too, since she's also my daughter. I was totally thrown off. Clara asked what she meant, and Bella just snapped. She said she had grown up in a fake home while my kids got the life she was supposed to have. She slammed the photo on the table and stormed out with her fiance. Oh gosh. The very next day, Clara asked me to come over. Bella didn't want to, but showed up later after Clara begged her. She told us about the DNA test and going through the safe and how she felt like this answered something she had always felt deep down. She said she's always been jealous of my kids, not just for their vacations or home life, but also because I gave them a good life without any hardships. She said she still loves Clara, but feels like she never really belonged, and now she thinks I'm the missing piece. She even called Clara a child snatcher. Oh, fuck. This is like definitely not going the way I thought. I never like anticipated that she would like want to be a part of somebody else's home. Like, she thinks like that's her mom. Oh God. See, this is exactly like, how would a kid react to this? Like, she's reacting this way as a 24-year-old, which is like totally valid. I have no idea what this feeling would be like, but I do feel like it's so fucked up that her parents didn't tell her earlier. I don't know, again, like the right time, but I feel like honesty is the best policy. And like, were you going to try and keep that forever? Like, I don't know, what is the reason? Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, at least if she was a kid and felt these feelings, you could like answer those questions and be like, no, like, that is, you know, those are their kids. Like, she was just a surrogate. Is that what you would call that? Right? I understand that it's her egg, but like, her mom, in all senses of the word, like the Clara woman, like raised her. Like, that's your mom. Like, I don't think blood really, I get it. I'm sure there is some sort of biological innate like reaction to like, you know, your birth mother, but it's also like Clara was her mom in every sense of the word. I also feel like that's so messy that she was like an auntie. Like, why wouldn't they say? I don't know. Or maybe like they should have had a random person do it. Like, the fact that she then grew up with this woman, not knowing, number one, that she like gave birth to her, which like is what it is, but also then like there's clearly a lifestyle difference probably amongst the two. It's sounding like this girl has more money and was able to give their kids not a better life, because just because you have money it doesn't mean you give your kids a better life, but like it's sounding, that's how Bella is perceiving it. Oh gosh. That's when I stepped in. I told her she needed to stop talking to Clara like that. She turned to me and said, "You're my real mother. Why don't you love me?" I told her as calmly as I could that I was nothing more than an egg donor. I told her I love her like a niece, and that's all. Clara is her mother, not me. I wasn't the one who raised her. I wasn't there for her childhood. Clara was. I never saw her as my daughter because that wasn't the role I had in her life. And that's valid too. Oh gosh, this is so messy. Oh, that's so sad that she feels that way and that's like blown up into what it is. She left again crying and since then has sent me over 20 messages. Some are angry and some are pleading. She's asked me to meet with her and James because she says we're her real parents. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They're like, no, she's not. And like how odd, like I think about how I talk about like step parents and how my step parents were never my parents. Like how at the age of 24, when Clara has been your mom your whole entire life and like you never knew that this woman was your biological mom and like on a dime you're saying that that is your mom when like, yes, you're biological, but like to really like feel like somebody's your mother, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. She says she loves Clara, but insists that she's always felt a disconnect and that I'm the reason why. Oh my gosh. No. Clara and I have been in touch since the blow up and we're both heartbroken. My husband thinks I should have a one-on-one with Bella, but honestly, I feel like there's nothing left to say. I didn't raise her. Clara did. She was always a wonderful mother, and up until now, she and Bella had a great relationship. I don't know why Bella is spiraling like this. Clara was there for every birthday, every school day, every scraped knee, heartbreak, and milestone. I made peace with my role in Bella's life a long time ago. I never saw myself as her mother, not because I didn't care, but because that was never the agreement. I helped a friend become a mother, and I kept that promise. Am I the asshole? No. But here's the thing, and something that she just said. I never saw myself as her mother. Wait. I made peace with my role in Bella's life a long time ago, but like Bella wasn't able to like come to terms with that because she didn't fucking know, right? Like I get it. It still is kind of wild behavior in my opinion to like spiral the way that she is and say that there's always been a disconnect when like this girl, and obviously you don't know the ins and outs, but like all of us have like a weird relationship with our parents. Like sometimes we don't feel the most disconnected. I think she's like grasping at straws or maybe is going through a hard time. I feel like the best case scenario is therapy. I feel like she needs to go to therapy right now multiple times and talk to somebody about this who's like unbiased and like really get a hold on those feelings because her feelings are valid. Like literally not one of us could know like what that feels like to find out that again, you were birthed by a woman. Like a part of me wants to say like, what's the big deal? But like at the other end of it, I don't know if there is like a real deep down feeling that she has. Holy shit. No, not the asshole. There's also an edit. Wait, it's really small. It says, I am mixed myself. Bella has light skin with incredibly loose curls. From the outside looking in, she does look like Clara's biological daughter. Okay, well, that was really unimportant. The first comment says, sounds like Bella is having an existential crisis, which like totally, and like, I'm not going to say it's not valid because none of us know, or maybe you do know what it's like to like be raised by two people, but like know that you weren't birthed. But like, again, like that is your mom in every sense of the word, Clara, right? Like I get, again, she's biological mom, but oh yeah, like I'm not gonna sit here and say that her feelings aren't valid. That's crazy though. God damn. Yeah, I think just like a lot of therapy, but like I don't think the woman is in the wrong, but I think they do need to give this girl grace. She's only probably 24 years old, and shame on her parents, I think, for not telling her sooner. I mean, I don't know the right age. I've said that a million times now, but like, I think that could have helped the situation. I feel like this girl is just like learning a huge fact about herself, which like on one hand is a big deal, but on the other hand isn't a big deal. And like how she's reacting to it is how she's reacting to it. But like she just learned for the first time at 24. It's kind of like having adopted parents. It's like learning that your parents adopted you at 24. Kind of, it's a little bit different, but like I would put it in the same ballpark. Like that's crazy. Like why wouldn't you tell tell. So I feel like she's probably hurt and angry at her own mother for not telling her. And then I feel like she's amplifying or like exaggerating the fact that her and her mom have a disconnect potentially, or just like maybe haven't been getting along or whatever. But like, this woman isn't going to be your mom. And also, is she just seeing this woman as like the money ticket? Because the fact that she brought up like the kids had a great life and went on vacations and stuff, I feel like that makes me think that she just like is viewing it from like that standpoint. Like, not that she's asking or like wants money, but you know what I mean? There's just a lot of different things. And I feel like the only way to work through this is therapy, probably individual, and then probably also with her mom, because there's going to be a lot of hurt there from her mom not telling her like this big part of her life. You know what I mean? Oy, that's crazy. Okay, you guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had the best weekend, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I cannot wait to catch up on Friday. Okay, bye. I was going to say next. I forgot that I was ending the episode. Okay, bye.